Robin Williams.
Ah, you!
The man, the legend.
How are you, boss?
I am absolutely with somebody exciting. Look at this man, Robin Williams, the man of the night.
You're famous for your energy.
Yes.
Aren't you?
My energy that right now I'm just conserving for the brief moment, but I'll bring it out if you wish.
Yeah.
Just like,
MTV, Robin.
oh, jeez. This is
got,
a special
like,
budget.
we got
You
this,
didn't
like-
have a light. This is incredible. You got what, like...
Robin Williams, the comic genius with an electric mind, with a range of talent that left us breathless. The one who amazed and kept us entertained until the very end, and whose sole purpose in life was to make people laugh.
You know, son, it's just rubber chicken, Mom.
Nah, I don't believe what you're doing now. You have to hold the microphone like it's something special.
Living life to the fullest, he went from one memorable film role to the other. But behind the upbeat, frenzied facade of Robin Williams was a sensitive and vulnerable man, deeply plagued by depression and haunted by his demons.
Death or the idea of you are mortal, or that voice going, Robin. Who is it? Robin.
No, I'm not worried about growing old. I kind of, if you have now a family like I do, it's kind of wonderful. Thanks for noticing, especially if it's a comedy. You want to go, thanks for laughing. You know, it's kind of a good thing if you're doing a comedy that people go, stand-up tragedy doesn't sell so well.
2000 Los Angeles.
Hi, it's Robin Williams. Happy 2000 Los Angeles. Don't be a freak.
That time I really, I wanted the whole drill.
Few comedians have ever been as beloved as Robin Williams. His story is full of tragic moments.
I have an extraordinary life. That's why sometimes people say, I got to go out and just try and help other people as much as you can in the midst of it.
We look back at the journey and tragic loss of a unique comic legend and one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Oh,
Hello, how are you?
very good.
Happy. Are you right now?
I'm really happy. That's much better now that you've been here.
What do you think it is about Robin Williams that makes people like him?
I think he's just one of the funniest men in the world and a great actor and a great guy.
Oh, it's magic. It's incredible. It's the steady cam. No, we're on a fault line. Yo soy un hombre sincero. La lenda expresa las palmas. Come in, please.
I look like you. Hi, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Bill Gates.
California, 1978. It was the hugely successful show Mork and Mindy that first aired in September of that year that first made Robin Williams a household name in comedy. He played alongside Pam Dauber, and the show ran for 4 seasons until 1982. The hit sitcom made him so popular that he realized that he was meant for greater success.
He wasn't that well known in this country then, but I was a huge fan of Mork and Mindy, which I think they used to put on a Saturday morning because they thought it was a kid's show, but it was very sexy and very funny show, and clearly Robin was, contributing a great deal to the script.
At 27 years old, Robin entered the world of entertainment and quickly became the funny man everyone fell in love with. By this time, he was living the Hollywood fast life. Everybody loved him. He was partying hard. He had always been open about his drug use in his early career. It was no secret that he'd always had a penchant for excess.
Is this a new body coming back again as someone else? Everyone's coming back and saying, hey, I was a princess in an afterlife. No way, you're coming back as an accountant. Get ready. Here at Bob Simmons' new and used karma.
Drugs were a place for him to hide from a world he was afraid of. Robin was always upbeat, and cocaine slowed him down.
You used to have a reputation as being a hard man of drugs and booze.
Oh, yes, sir. It's all of the above and more.
What happened?
Oh, God. I don't remember. The drugs were that good.
But in January 1982, years of alcohol and drug use led to the death of his dear friend John Belushi at only 33 years old. Robin was with him the night that he fatally overdosed. After finding out, he swore in a soft, solemn voice to his trusted friend and co-star Pam Dauber that this was never going to happen to him. Belushi's death hit Robin hard. That fate haunted him. It was a wake-up call. He realized that if he was to avoid the same destiny, he would need a drastic change of lifestyle. So he decided to slow down. Within a year, he was clean and sober and father to a son. It seemed that he was finally happy. However, Robin Williams would fight a lifelong battle against addiction and depression. He had demons that haunted him since his early days. Before becoming the star of Mork and Mindy, Robin struggled.
Red Yiddish, look, it's all right. Yes, it's out, okay?
Robin, young man, thank you. Robin, wait.
Hello, wait, no.
Can you lower the mic?
Surely.
Lower the mic.
Is that okay?
Hey, Robin.
Robin McLaurin Williams was born in Chicago, Illinois on July 21, 1951. His father worked as a senior executive, while his mother had been a former model. He had two elder half-brothers, but grew up as an only child.
You know, it was tough being an only child, because you would go over to kids' houses and they had brothers who would beat the shit out of them, and you were going, God, I wish that'd be fun when in your dreams.
My father was this very dry, very elegant man. And the amazing thing is that, over the years, he kind of transformed into a person, I would love him when, some nights especially when I was in high school, and he'd be playing cribbage with my mother. He'd have, the little cocktail there, little doors maybe, I don't know, maybe, I think it was a gin and tonic. And then he'd be like, have a couple of those, and he'd be going, you want another car? And I'd go, I'm okay. I was always waiting for those times after the third one. I'd go, yeah, maybe I do. When he got really happy. But, I really do appreciate him. My mother gave me a kind of a wild, a performing sense, and he gave me this kind of a drier the acting sense of, that I can only say there's a kind of an ethical kind of a drive. That's him. It's nice to have both of them. That's what you pick up from them,
For the young Robin, showbiz seemed like an unlikely career path. The family moved to Michigan when he was a young kid, and there he joined the Detroit Country Day School. He was an excellent student at first and also played sports, yet he was bullied much of the time. Although it might have toughened him up, it also made him pull back. It was only through comedy that he found a way to use his pain as fuel for laughter. As a quiet, introvert child, Robin spent much of his time alone playing with his toys.
I think I was kind of quiet, yeah. This I don't know if you're talking about size or just boxed in, but more like, that. But I think a little contained.
Well, yeah, because I think a lot of people would assume, gee, Robin Williams, he had to have been the class clown.
Oh, not at all. Class accountant. It was good, though. A lot of people have imaginary playmates. I had an imaginary agent, which was like, you'll get me work? Thank you. This is Simon. He's calling ahead for me. And it was interesting, because I was an only child, so it was just me and the puppet.
Since both his parents worked, he was partially raised by the family's maid, who was his main companion. The family moved around a lot, and Robin attended 6 different schools in only 8 years. He spent a good part of his childhood by himself and entertained himself with his own imagination. His mother would later admit that she never realized how lonely her son had been. But humor quickly became Robin's defense mechanism and his way to cope with that loneliness. And he saw his mother as an important source of inspiration. He always tried to make her laugh to gain attention. The comic David Steinberg, who met Williams nearly 40 years ago, declared, "There's a kind of loneliness to all comedians, because you have to be in your own mind all the time. But there was just a certain sort of solitude in him that I didn't see in a lot of people." When his father retired and Robin turned 16, they moved west to San Francisco, Tiburon. Robin finally started to fit in for the first time in his life. The 60s counterculture era helped him come out of his shell, and he experienced his life in a new way. As a teenager, he attended the all-men Redwood High School, and it wasn't until he tried an acting class that he overcame his shyness while discovering the joys of improvisation. He discovered that he could make people laugh. From this time and for the rest of his life, being Robin wouldn't be enough anymore. He would have to be funny Robin.
Heavy student, very, I was a summa cum laude member of that honor society in high school. I blew it in college, but I certainly had to go out in high school. Yeah, it was very intense.
He was a popular student in school, always telling jokes. At the time of his graduation in 1969, he was voted most likely not to succeed and funniest by his classmates. After graduating from high school, he planned to study political science in college, but he caught the acting bug instead and decided to pursue acting full-time.
When I flunked out of political science, I discovered that real quickly. I took all these improvisational classes and started messing up my, I couldn't, lie on my final exam and go, Hitler, a very aggressive man. Thank you, that doesn't really describe World War II or German tendencies. I started getting into it basically in college, performing. That was the first time I guess I'd been kind of closet funny before. What is that? What are you doing in the sun? It's just rubber chicken, Mom. But I really kicked it out in college, first year of college.
In 1973, he won a full scholarship to attend the esteemed Juilliard School in New York City, alongside classmates like Christopher Reeve and William Hurt. Reeve would go on to become one of William's closest friends.
Do you get sick of film? I mean, I know the rewards of film are great in terms of... No?
No, I don't get
sick of it. But it's such painstaking, slow work, isn't it? And
yeah, it is like being circumcised with a water pick. Yeah, it's very slow. And but the tips are nice. Yeah. I mean, you get that idea of, you work your way through it and you get used to the waiting is mostly in film. You work for 5 minutes, and then, boom, you work, and then you're off for an hour, 2 hours.
And then you've got to still have something next for the
next
take.
5 minutes, boom, and then do it again.
Yes, but you see, you grew up in your whole training, your whole show business upbringing, your whole performing upbringing was fast, it was furious, it was out here, wasn't it, on stage? You know what I mean?
All of a sudden, became a boxer. I was like Mike Tyson, I'm gonna go for your ear, man, I'm gonna go for your ear.
You know what I mean?
Let's get ready to nibble.
It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was like stand-up comedy, clubs, basically, and then, but actually I was trained as an actor at Juilliard, so that wasn't this. This was very much this, and, the classical training based on, like Radha and English acting training.
Yes.
That, the ability to enunciate for no reason and speak like that, and wear clothes so tight you can tell what religion I am. Yeah, when you have a 2-drink minimum and people are basically saying you suck before you get on stage, you develop a real kind of quick delivery. I also used to work without a microphone because it forced people to kind of, look at you and, really kind of... I also worked out in the audience, too, because I was, if you're going to die, might as well die among people. So I had that kind of delivery, I really tried to kick out and go that way.
Back over here to your left, please. That's a great show.
Really great time people started seeing it.
Now it's the quiet, subdued mortuary Jeff.
Robin! You have to go this way.
Me back, I started again in San Francisco. I went to this club called Bimbo's and just started doing shows. Started off an hour, then it would go an hour and a half, then 2 hours, then it got to be too long, and then just tightened it up, and then took it around America, and Canada too. And that got interesting, and that really kind of let me know what people are up for.
In 1976, he moved back to San Francisco, a breeding ground for promising young comedians. There, he began to do stand-up, and he was instantly great at it. The jokes were flowing out of his mouth, and people were wonderfully stunned.
Because I couldn't find acting work, and that was great therapy. I needed some release, some performing release once again. And these clubs were great. There was one wasn't in the places I started performing were like these little coffee houses where they'd have like radical feminist poetry readings and comedy right after that. There'd be 5 ladies who dressed like lumberjacks in the front, going, "What are you going to talk about?" It was nice pressure, and made you get an interesting act right away. Then I'd play these coffee houses, not coffee houses, small bars where people were quite drunk, so that's where I got that aggressive style. You had to hit them quick before they had their 5th pitcher of beer.
In 1977, he moved to Los Angeles after getting a spot at the Comedy Store. While he was performing at the Comedy Club that same year, he was spotted by the TV producer George Schlater, who asked him to appear on a revival of his Laugh-In TV show. Even though the show was not a success, it led to his talent getting recognized. One day, everything changed. In 1978, he was cast for the role of Mork the Alien in Happy Days. The character was so successful that it set off a spin-off. The American hit sitcom Mork and Mindy was an instant sensation. Williams improvised much of the scripts, and this opportunity filled him with excitement for a while.
I got to see him a lot, and after a while, I mean, I was in the business as well, that I analyzed what he was doing, and in fact, he wasn't improvising. And I don't like improvisation. I just think that's, you know, that's not the job really. But what he had was a vast amount of material, and he had tricks like that Elmer Fudd, you know, voice and doing, or John Wayne doing Shakespeare or whatever. He had those tricks that he would pull out the bag, and that for me was more admirable because, you know, he wasn't, it was the result of a massive amount of work and a massive dedication to the business of doing comedy. You can only be that slick if you do it all the time.
Famous for your energy.
Yes.
Aren't you?
My energy that right now I'm just conserving for the brief moment, but I'll bring it out if you wish.
Yes, that's cool. That's cool. No, conserve your energy, please.
All right.
No, because even when you probably don't think you're being energetic yourself, you're being fantastically energetic. But
really?
Do you apply? Yes, if I may say so. Of course, it's ridiculous.
It's a breath of fire and doing the deep breathing.
While his career was taking off, Robin faced many personal challenges. It was while working on Mork and Mindy that he developed a drug and alcohol problem. At the same time, he also became involved in several tumultuous romantic relationships. In 1978, he got married to Valerie Velarde, with whom he had a son, Zachary.
And I have to ask, you're a dad. Any advice for fathers out there? Father's Day approaches.
Brace yourself. Brace yourself for unusual gifts. Try not to guess. Let them give you clues. Oh, it's a cup. No. It's a plate. No. You find out later. It's a lamp. Oh, wow. Thank you.
Did your father ever give you any advice that you ignored studiously?
No, he gave me the best advice of all. He said, if you're going to be an actor, great, but also have a second career like welding. That was his greatest advice.
Do you apply the same energy to your private life as you do to your professional life?
Or to my very private life, yes. Yeah, that energy is very important. The tantric energy is very important. You must have that energy to fuel your power. But I have the same energy with my family and friends, yeah.
Well, you must have energy to keep the family going, don't you?
Yeah, very. That's always a part of it.
Do you have trouble, though, putting the same energy into family that you put into your work?
Yeah, it's hard after an 18-hour day to go, you know, Daddy would love to play, but the robot is just, please, we're going to put a movie on for you now. Oops, that's the Clinton tape. Sorry. Yeah. You know, have to be very careful. So, yeah, there is that time where you have to pick the right, you know, the moment.
Their marriage ended 10 years later due to his alcoholism and infidelity. The following year, in 1989, he married Marcia Garces, his son's nanny. They went on to have 2 children, Zelda and Cody. His relationship with Marcia marked the end of an era of bad career choices and self-destructive behavior. This marriage, too, however, didn't last long.
I think I just stopped because, number one, I was going to have a child. Not me, but my first wife. And I thought, I don't want to be, you know, coked up going, hey, Daddy loves you. 4 o'clock in the morning, want to play with Dad? You know, and I wanted to, you know, be aware and conscious and to, you know, experience, you know, my child growing up. And I stopped. Didn't have to go to Betty Ford, didn't go to AA. You know, just did it cold turkey because I realized I didn't want to live like that anymore. And alcohol, I just wanted to, you know, I literally wanted to live a different way. I wanted to be more conscious, and the wonderful thing that replaced it was contact with friends and, you know, family, and it was really great. And I could be just as creative, and that was what the wonderful thing was.
It's a difficult thing because sometimes sometimes I can be like a poster for Arrested Development. I have all these things of, you know, this desire to, what I do, play and do all these different things, and then the idea of imposing discipline when what I'm known for is the exact opposite is very difficult, but I have to. You got to as a father, a real father.
There was a time things got on top of you.
Well, that was if you're lucky.
Yes, Friday nights, but I mean, you know... But
and then sometimes you reverse.
You fixed that up yourself?
Yeah, basically, I stopped things being on top of me.
Yeah.
When I was about the birth of my first son. I wanted to be there and I didn't want to miss it.
There is so much to ask you, really. You've got your kids here with you?
Yes, not here right now, but
not here. They're not on the arms next to you.
No, they're nearby.
Are you happy man, or are you sad man?
Happy man.
Yeah.
Happy man. This is very happy man. I have great friends and wonderful family, and that is a gift, a miracle, you know?
Yeah.
Robin married his third wife, the graphic designer Susan Schneider, in 2011. They remained married.
No, I'm not worried about growing old. If you have now a family like I do, it's kind of wonderful. Because you get to see them grow up, and even if I do, unless I get really come on in, kids. I'm gonna watch my HBO special. Don't make us do that, come on.
Robin went on to tour the country. In 1979, he gave a live comedy show at the Copacabana in New York, Reality, What a Concept, which won him a Grammy Award. But soon, stand-up wasn't enough. He decided to give acting another chance. He put Mork and Mindy behind him and focused on finding a movie role. His first efforts didn't hit. One of Williams' first starring roles was in Popeye in 1980. The film was a flop, but more roles soon followed. In 1984, he was chosen for the role of Vladimir Ivanov in the comedy drama Moscow on the Hudson, for which he was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor. Then came a critical success. In 1986, he performed his HBO special, An Evening at the Met, where he talked about the reality of drinking alcohol. He went on to do 5 HBO stand-up specials.
And you must pay your dues. This is why I had to give up alcohol, because you have to pay the next day. Pray, dear Lord, please don't hurt me now. There you are lying in bed, and you feel like the scene from the movie The Fly going, help me, help me. The entire room is spinning like a roulette wheel. Place your bets, place your bets. And there's the old toilet in the corner going, talk to me. Talk to me.
His first major role came in 1987 with the war comedy film Good Morning Vietnam, in which he portrayed a radio DJ on Armed Forces radio service. The film was a hit and made over $120 million at the box office. This resulted in his first Oscar nomination for Best Actor and re-energized his career. Now that he was critically acclaimed, Robin Williams was eager to take on more serious roles. His first dramatic role was in the 1989 Dead Poets Society, playing an inspirational teacher in a conservative academy.
We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. And medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for.
The movie was a huge success, and once again, he received an Academy Award nomination for his performance, although he didn't win the Oscar.
It's like watching an MC Escher dream inside a jar of truth and reality. He hired us, Williams, and Schmundel.
It's a Jewish tap dance.
In 1991, he acted in The Fisher King and received another Academy Award nomination.
Give me your impression of the evening and of the Golden Globes.
Starting with the chicken, working up from the pollo, to we go to the next course. You get up to, start with a salad, then to the pollo. From that, you go to a dessert, which is usually some sort of cake, which for me, I'm hypoglycemic, is Reagan in Japan. And then we go from that to the awards, which sometimes can go short and sometimes can go long. Do not operate heavy machinery and watch the whole show. So that's it. It can be fun, though, when you see friends win. And if you win, wow, it's great.
Williams is perhaps most renowned for his voiceover work as the lovable genie in the Walt Disney animated classic Aladdin, for which he won a Golden Globe Special Achievement Award.
Redeemable for one free oh, sorry. It's a, says, for his wit and wisdom, his humor, his heart, and most of all for his way of giving irresistible, frequently hilarious life to characters he plays. Disney's Aladdin down here, a little tiny Golden Globe. That's the size of the one I get. And I forgot to thank on stage the animators, which I was, obviously this is a surprise, so I didn't have the normal list of people, but Eric Goldberg and all the 50 people who drew it, who spend this 7-8 months doing it, they're the people who get this. I don't know what to do with this. It's not framed, it's got a big hole in it. You can, space to rent, you know. It's kind of a strange award to get. It's wonderful, but it's like, I'm kind of like, it's the What Me Worry Award.
The star had frenetic energy and an unbelievably quick wit. The more roles he took on, the more he showcased his stellar comedic talents, as well as his ability to take on serious work. But he was still looking for the perfect scripted role. Perhaps one of his most memorable comedy films was Mrs. Doubtfire in 1993, in which he pretended to be a woman to see his children.
Hello, I'm Euphigenia Doubtfire, dear. Bon appetit! It's homework time.
You can't imagine what it was like being married to Daniel.
He sounds like an absolute stallion.
Isn't the real reason you took this role because you like wearing those clothes just a little bit?
Yes, it is. And I'd like to talk about it here before I go on, Geraldo. This week, Men in Foam. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie to you. Putting on that beanbag bodysuit and those 3-inch heels, I felt more like myself than ever before.
This proved to be his most beloved character. Robin Williams was awarded the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor and People's Choice Awards for Favorite Comedic Movie and Actor.
Shooting in San Francisco was wonderful because it was home. I got to be there and shoot in neighborhoods we know and streets and use people we know. I mean, in San Francisco is an amazing place. And if another tremor, come north. I'm with it, which is wonderful.
What would Mrs. Doubtfire say?
Oh dear, she'd go, this is possibly wonderful, but yet phallic. A wonderful evening. Now that Winston is gone, poor dear man. But, you know, it's a very beautiful piece, really. A kind of a Mother Teresa thing, you know. I don't know, it's lovely. And I thank you all, and I've got to go, I've got buns in the oven.
Robin, when you're on the set, how much of the lines that you say are pre-scripted and versus the ones...
Many of the lines are improvised. It just seems to happen like what we're talking now. And sometimes I'll try a scripted version, just like a bass track, and then go off from there. And usually kind of get bluer and bluer, much like tonight. Where the guy went, what does that mean?
What's your next project?
I'm playing what am I doing? I don't know yet. I've just been home for a year, so it's been nice.
You had some great feedback on Mrs. Doubtfire. I mean,
Great feedback. A lot of transvestite feedback. It's been fabulous. A lot of children, yeah.
What about the impact on children?
We're on Impact again.
Back on impact.
Back on Impact and Instinct. But
30, 11, 12. I have 67, 67, 11, 229, I got 229.
In 1997 came the revelation. He got the opportunity to star in Good Will Hunting, in which he plays the role of Sean McGuire, a therapist who counsels a troubled yet hugely talented young man, played by Matt Damon.
Some people can never believe in themselves.
I can't learn anything from you unless you want to talk about you.
Until someone believes in them.
You can do anything you want. You are bound by nothing.
And you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket. I'd do anything to have what you got.
And some never know how much they can have.
I love you.
Until they discover how much they can give. Academy Award winner Robin Williams.
His emotional performance deeply moved audiences and earned him his first Oscar, the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor.
Robin Williams! Ah, you! The man, the legend.
How are you, boss?
I am absolutely with somebody exciting. Look at this man, Robin Williams, the man of the night. Look at this.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you had to pick, is this the nomination you would have given yourself the Oscar for?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, this one, yes. The other ones were just foreplay. This is wild night. It's insane. I'm still like this. I was in there taking photos. I was like, hey, nice to be here. I have to change pants, but you'll understand that later. No, it is. It's extraordinary. I'm very proud. I feel proud the boys are out there, too. I feel like I left the boys behind. Are they all right? Is Matt and Ben okay?
229.
But I'm very proud. Yeah, this is an extraordinary piece, and thank you.
229 in the back.
229, your car is here?
Hello, good evening.
Basically, it was to find the very painful aspects of a character who had lost his wife, who had basically shut down for a couple of years. And by working with this boy, he's been able to come out of himself. And it's beyond a therapeutic relationship in the first, once you throttle someone, that's not usual therapy, unless it's in the WWF. But it's, it's to find that painful part, to find the barriers, the defenses, all of those things that he is just as defended as the boy. And that's what made it hard, but wonderful. The words were there. I read it. The first time I read it, I wanted to do it. That speech by the pond, that's why I wanted to do it.
98.
Oh, it's extraordinary. It's like, it's the golden dude.
Yeah.
Holding it, I've imagined, I've been here 3 times before and lost, and it's always, you asked about my odds before, or basically my odds before were about the same as the Jamaican bobsled team winning. And then tonight it was kind of interesting because I didn't think I had a chance, but when they said it, it was truly shock. And it's a great honor. The SAG honor was a great honor. This is a great honor. It's extraordinary. You don't know. It's like I'm sailing. It's much cheaper than Prozac.
119.
Yes, we have a plane coming over. We have to go. 119, you've won!
It was a crapshoot, really. I thought I had a 50-50 shot. For the first time, I even had a chance. Most of the time, I had about as much chance as Gary Coleman joining the NBA. So, or Mike Tyson, having the whole buffet. But, I think it was very interesting because the day of the Oscars, it was kind of it was a weird kind of tranquility of going, I actually have a chance. So maybe that allowed you to be genuinely shocked, because part of you is also going, it's a sucker punch. You're going to get nailed again. They're going to open the envelope, and the winner is somebody else. And it was like, but part of you was, still thinking, it's a possibility. So when they announced it, Marsha had to literally kind of poke me and went, it's real. That thing that you kind of visualize, there have been dreams, of that, and then you're there. And then the horrific thing is when they hand it to you and you go, that moment where you don't know what you do, it really strikes you. And I wasn't, no lie, was genuinely struck. I didn't know what to say. And then you realize there's a billion people. Find something and don't grab yourself.
After the success of Good Will Hunting, he acted in Patch Adams in 1998, which received unfavorable critics, but was a box office hit.
It's Robin Williams. Happy 2000 Los Angeles. Don't be afraid of the word 우리가 우승의 달이 우단 시도를 열어댄디르스 오늘이 내가 드라스빈아니야 스파인 코츠 아이로본데.
Thank you, Robin.
His career continued, and he went on to perform in smaller films such as Bicentennial Man.
No, I'm just looking for anything interesting, things that kind of change perception. I'm looking for, obviously, darker roles, because everyone thinks that warm cuddle. There was something today in the paper said, a cuddle fest with Robin Williams. Oh, a cuddle fest. That's like, what's that, with a bunch of squids? Cuddle. But you just try and find interesting characters, that really either use the technology or something really simple.
So you'd like to play a villain? Maybe that's what you should, or a killer or something.
A killer?
Yeah?
Yeah,
Can you do that?
I could very easily. Don't be afraid of me. Yeah, you got all of a sudden your eyes went, you're real pretty. Yeah. All of a sudden she's like, don't do that now. Yeah, it's all right, I'm okay now.
But is that exactly the sort of thing you'd like to do?
Yeah, it'd be interesting if just once again to show the darker side too. We all have it.
One of his darkest roles came in 2002 in 1 Hour Photo, where he played a creepy and lonely photographer. In 2005, he voiced Fender, a robot who was constantly falling apart.
Just a skid robot, a guy who's just barely trying to hold it together, living hand to foot, trying to make ends meet, literally.
And what kind of voice do you do?
So it's pretty much me, being 53, falling apart myself, so it works easy.
And why do you think...
Thank you guys very much. Buenas noches.
You came from a background as a comedian, and now you're being validated as an actor.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times, you know, it's strange because people talk about Oscar and the Academy, you know, with the comics. Maybe now people say, what's next? I said, maybe now I should go out and I'll concentrate on comedy for the next 10 years. But it's always strange. When you're a comic, sometimes you feel kind of like the slightly damaged person, like they go, oh, you're a comedian. This way, park over here. Ça suffit, préparez, vite, et tirez. Oh, we have one down.
That thing of when you're really old, they bring you out. Thank you for this award. Where the hell were you? Oh, you understand me. No, it's sorry. Okay.
Williams had managed to quit alcohol and cocaine in the early 1980s. He remained sober for a long time until he relapsed in 2003 on location in Alaska. He was feeling more and more isolated. For the next 3 years, he denied the problem. But in the summer of 2006, he suffered a drug relapse, and after a family intervention, he checked himself into a rehab facility. He quickly rebounded, and in 2007, he starred as a reverend in the comedy License to Wed. But his addiction led to the breakdown of his second marriage. In 2010, they divorced, citing irreconcilable differences. His second wife left a depressed Robin, who did what he always did when life got too tough. He threw himself into his work. In 2006, he was the voice of Loveless the Penguin in Happy Feet 2. In September 2008, Williams started touring for his stand-up comedy show, Weapons of Self-Destruction. The comedian poured his energy into sold-out shows, but health problems would derail him in March of 2009. In the midst of his stand-up, fast-paced tour, he began experiencing shortness of breath. Complications led him to be flown to a Cleveland clinic, where he ended up undergoing heart surgery and to cancel performances. At the same time, Williams faced another crisis. His career became shaky. In 2009, he acted in the black comedy film World's Greatest Dad as Lance, a grotesque high school teacher. The film didn't connect with audiences. In 2010, there were no films released at all.
When you go to Los Angeles, it seems such a beautiful place, such a charming, friendly, gracious place, much of it. And yet it's described as one of the most treacherous cities in the world. I mean, do you...
Oh, sir. Is it? It can be interesting, you know.
Yeah.
A place where even people put their children on hold.
Yes.
That's how vicious it is.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm getting a fax. Yeah. 1 second. That's that whole thing of, yeah, it's in, but the place that's even more vicious is Washington. You know, that's makes Hollywood look like a daycare center.
Has Hollywood been kind to you? You've had your ups and downs.
I've had my ups and downs, but Hollywood's been nice, but that's why I live in San Francisco, so I don't have to worry about it. So it's like living in Switzerland if there's ever an atomic war, so you can go, what was that noise?
You know, comedy in the Academy, I don't know why it is sometimes. Maybe it's because we're unusual people that we scare you.
Thank you.
He's going to touch himself. I didn't, I swear.
Thank you very much.
Grazie, Signora Holmes. It's good to be here as an international star. I love this place. I give you like a big kiss. Roberto Benigni. Bravo. Bravo, bene. Tutto bellissimo. Sì, grazie.
I have an extraordinary life. And that's why sometimes people say, I mean, I got to go out and just try and help other people as much as you can in the midst of it.
And mentioning that, you have done so much for people, comedy-wise, and with your charity. What's waiting for you in heaven? In the afterlife.
I hope my father. I hope he's proud. I hope some cable network works in heaven. The 24-hour. The Vatican Rome shopping network. Hello, we now have the T-shirt of Turin. Look, the eyes.
Back in 1996, Robin, Whoopi Goldberg, and Billy Crystal founded Comic Relief, a charity that helped the homeless. As of 2016, they had raised $80 million. Williams and his wife also created the Windfall Foundation to help donate money to various causes, including St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
The comedian is like a lone wolf for the entertainment tundra. You know, they're people who want everything for themselves, all the attention. And what that comes from is a dire need to to control and to make people laugh and to be loved. You could see that tremendous drive in Robin, that he had to perform, you know, and that's what made him great, you know, that Dianete is what made him fantastic, that dedication. But it obviously, you know, you pay a price for that, you know. No normal person would put up with the rejection, you know. If you die in front of an audience, and you know, that's the language the comedians use, then it's, you know, you can't blame the set or the other actors. It's you they hate. Yeah. And, you know, you're always teetering on that knife edge, really, you know, of rejection.
Yes? Oui, attends 2 secondes, oui.
It helps to, you know, be wild and then come down, because the wild kind of energizes you, and then what you have is residual energy combined with a kind of a mind going, what's next? You got a lot going on, and that helps rather than being, I'm in my character now. You know, that can be kind of a little dangerous.
How else do you beat those winter blues?
At home, I ride a bike. That's my favorite thing to do, and listen to great music. And I have my wife is amazing. I just look at her, and all of a sudden, I'm happy. It's amazing.
In 2014, Robin's last appearance on the big screen was in Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb, the third film in the family comedy franchise. The project was his first big-budget feature in some time, but it was clear to them that whatever had been afflicting him was getting worse.
Just was so kind and generous, and he's like, can you talk to me? And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Robin Williams. And we just talked about comedy, and it was just, I feel very blessed to have had that, you know, bit of time with him.
Okay, I'm still alive. A lifetime achievement, good. I'm still continent. I didn't have to put on the special pants. And it's nice to be here and among people that I admire, which is kind of cool.
We love Robin Williams. Ah! Are you kidding?
See, it's a good night. Already we made friends.
Yes.
And we ain't cowboys. That's totally crazy.
Williams was begged to slow things down, but it was his own desire to keep working through the pain, as he had always done.
I gotta hang home for a while. Be good. Just ride bikes. Go long. It'd be nice. I mean, besides the promotion for the films that I've already made, I'll do that, but then I'll just hang at home.
Williams had always been a workaholic, and even when life got tough, he couldn't stop working. By the time he reached Vancouver to film the rest of his scenes, Robin had lost even more weight. Even his memory became affected, and he was having difficulty remembering his lines. For more than 35 years, he made people laugh and cry. But when everything came to an end, the human being behind the entertainer couldn't confront the reality. One night, Williams said goodbye to the crowd one last time.
My father was a very elegant man, and he seriously said that to me when I said I wanted to be an actor. He said, fine, have a backup profession like welding. And I went to my first welding class, and the teacher had one eye, and I went, I have to go. But he was very supportive, and you know, he understood. He had a dream, I don't know what it was, when he was a boy, that he had to give up and work like crazy to support his family. So when he saw that I found something I loved, he really helped me, and he stood by it, and it was really wonderful, and I miss him. And that's why this is really great for him.
The last question will be
Right?
2:59.
There'll be no other questions after that for the rest of the evening. Did I feel lonely? Yeah, I mean, it's because you look around, there was nobody else. Yeah, there is that thing when you get to be 47 and the doctor's doing the old, what are you doing? You know what a difference between a $40 exam and an $80 prostate exam? $40 exam, $80. Wow, that's not necessary. What are you doing? Is that for the prostate? No, that's for me. Yeah, you start to have a certain sense of your own mortality. If you know that, you know, death or the idea of you're mortal, or that voice going, Robert. But sanity returns, you know.
I have to bring these flowers. I just feel, you know, I don't know how, what can I say? I'm speechless. Real down-to-earth man, just...
Who is that? Robert. What is that? Who is that?
He was a very gifted man. He entertained many of us for a number of years, and he was such a talent that it was really sad to hear that he decided to end it today. So he will be missed, and we're very grateful that he blessed us with so many good memories.
Then as you get older and older and older, that, I mean, when I talk to friends who are, you know, when people get in their 80s and the 90s, that it's actually like they're saying, no, let me go. When sometimes they say, you know, that's why Kevorkian's business is doing not bad, you know.
He'll be missed. He was a true legend.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very good.
I mean, how happy are you right now?
I'm really happy. That's much better now that you are here. My feeling about going with your gut instinct? It's not a bad thing to follow your instinct. My instinct right now is to run, but I'm fighting that.
On August 11, 2014, the world received some news that left his friends, family, and millions of fans devastated. Robin Williams took his own life in his California home. His personal assistant discovered him unconscious, but it was too late. His publicist released this statement. Robin Williams passed away this morning. He has been battling severe depression of late. This is a tragic and sudden loss. The final report, released in November 2014, revealed no alcohol or illegal drugs had been found in his system. Schneider disclosed that her late husband had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease back in May 2014, which he had not revealed publicly, a prognosis that carried its own heavy burden. She also confirmed that the actor was battling depression and anxiety, but that he had maintained his sobriety.
It just breaks my heart to have him be hurting inside, and we never knew. Someone so happy and making us laugh was sad on inside.
In November 2014, it was revealed that prior to his death, Williams was also suffering from Lewy body dementia, a form of dementia that exacerbated his depression. However, the doctor had misdiagnosed him and he never knew, although he was aware of himself losing his mind.
Long time ago, I was in Oscar green room. I standing there because my English not very good. I was very shy and I'm hiding. I'm afraid to talk people. I'm afraid. Then suddenly there's a guy in front of me. Wow, Robin Williams, Jackie Chan, big fan. You know how much I love you. Then it just keep talking. I try to say something bad, but I can't because she's so fast. Then okay, you stay, okay? I'm go. Oh, you good, you're the man. Then he gone. Then I look at him, I call my manager. You know, Robin Williams talking to him. Can I ask him a photo for autograph? Then he call him, he sent me a photo. But this day, today I just shocked. Even I don't really know him, seems I lost best friend.
Robin received an outpouring of affection and admiration from the millions of people whose lives he touched. His greatest legacy, besides his 3 children, is the joy and happiness he offered to others, particularly to those fighting personal battles.
Well, it's hard to not be inspired by someone with such an articulate way of expressing himself and such a great imagination, but he was wonderful on the set. I mean, very playful, like a schoolyard in a good way. There wasn't anything that wasn't joyous about him on stage, and I think in film as well, he brought a lot of joy to a lot of people.
And there was this amazing thirst on his part to perform, to constantly entertain, to make people laugh. How do you explain that?
Well, I think a lot of performers feel a constant need to entertain. I'm at the Edinburgh Fringe right now, surrounded by thousands of them, and I think also for him, it was a way of perhaps, I don't know, becoming closer with the people around him. And whilst off stage, in the green room, around other comics, he was completely fresh and open about what he knew and what he was willing to share. I was really in admiration of him for a very long time. I still am.
Okay.
Within hours of the stunning tragic news of his passing, thousands of fans posted images of themselves standing on their desks with the caption, "Oh Captain, my Captain," in reference to Robin's character in Dead Poets Society. It was a fitting tribute.
Your favorite role, would that be Crow now in Good Morning Vietnam?
No, actually, it'd be
The teacher in Dead Poets Society.
Okay.
Mr. Keating.
Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary.
In July 2015, his final film, Boulevard, hit theaters. The film closed out a 38-year career that encompassed in total 74 films.
When you first see him on screen here, it sort of hits you, for the first time that it's obviously incredibly sad. You won't be seeing him again in new film. But is that the beauty of your industry, the fact that he can leave such a legacy and in 10, 15 years' time people can go watch this film and it's a fitting way for him to go out?
Well, he made so many great movies and so many incredible performances and live performances, and what he did on Comic Relief, and just he just left an incredible amount of work behind, and so that's going to live on forever for sure.
He was set to appear on the screen several more times in the near future, such as the comedy A Merry Frigging Christmas. His managers were awaiting a script for a sequel to Mrs. Doubtfire, but they never got the chance to make those projects come to life. His last film, Night at the Museum, premiered in December 2014.
I always find it as strange and poignant to see actors on screen either years after they've died or weeks after they've died. There is something about an echo that a film actor is able to leave behind that no other craft does leave behind. It's quite extraordinary.
He's made such an incredible range of films as well, and made audiences, cry as much as laugh. And I think he does both in this film in an extraordinary way. It was quite a sad film anyway, sort of the end of a trilogy and bidding farewell to some, much-loved characters, and, the theme of moving on and growing up. And, it does have an eerie poignancy now. And
Robin, I was always a fan since I was about 13 years old. So for me, I never got over that working with him. And, I just felt lucky to have the opportunity to have got to know him a little bit. And he was incredibly kind and warm and generous. And the persona on screen that everybody sees was really who he was.
Always funny.
On October 5th, 2016, the SAG-AFTRA Foundation opened the Robin Williams Center for Entertainment and Media, an educational space in New York City named in his honor.
Of all the movie stars that I've been fortunate enough to meet and work with, he was genuinely the most loving, concerned for his fellow actor, and everybody really, whether, it was a producer, another actor, day player or co-star or craft service person or teamster or whoever, he was working with. Genuine love and concern for everybody, truly. It's easy to say that about the dearly departed, but it happened to be true of Robin, and so it's very fitting that he'd be honored in this way.
It's an incredible tribute. I think that it's Robin Williams meant so much to so many people. Truly a celebration of life. And so I look at this as a celebration of his life.
He was one of the greatest performers in so many ways. An amazing comedian, a fantastic actor. For me, the greatest friend. And that everyone felt like he was their friend. And I think that's the great gift, that he really united the world in laughing and feeling and caring. And that was the center of his soul.
The one moment.
Have you got
What? Why? What? It's a Jewish event. I can dress like a priest. But you're Jewish. Read Yiddish. Look, it's all right.
In our lifetimes, we can only hope to make a difference, and he's made an incredible difference.
He had a poet's soul. He had that much love and compassion in his heart, and that's partly why he left us so early, and it's nice that he can be remembered this way.
Fast forward to July 21st, 2021, which would have been Robin Williams' 70th birthday. His son Zach pays tribute to the late star, saying, "Dad, On what would be your 70th birthday, I would want you to know that your incredible spirit lives within us. Our family will be celebrating you and your memory today. We miss you and love you always. There will never be another Robin Williams. The funny man lit up all of our screens with his frenetic energy and unbelievably quick wit. The loving and wonderful genius made not just America, but the whole world laugh until the very end.
My father was this very dry, very elegant man. My mother gave me a kind of a wild, a performing sense, and he gave me this kind of a drier the acting sense of, that I can only say there's a kind of an ethical kind of a drive. That's him.
The tragic details of Robin Williams' life inspire us to look past the mask of those people who seem to have a perfect life. They bring to light our blindness to depression and offers an ever-timely reminder that everybody needs support and understanding. His legacy, reaching way beyond his body of work, lives on.
Are you happy man or are you sad man?
Happy man.
Yeah.
Happy man. This is very happy man. I have great friends and wonderful family, and that is a gift, a miracle,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about growing old.
What are you working on next?
Nothing.
Can you rest?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
We can't allow it.
You can.
We cannot.
Lincoln freed everybody.
No, we need you.
No, I'll be back. I will. No, I'll be back. I will.